through yonder window breaks. It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. But be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestile livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eye in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. Ay me. She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night, being over my head as a winged messenger of heaven, unto the white upturned, wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy puffing clouds, and sails upon the bosom of air. O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this? 'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself not a Montague. What's a Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face. Oh, be some other name belonging to a man. What's a name? That which we call a rose, by any other word would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not called Romeo, retain that dear perfection which he owes, without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself. I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo. What man art thou that thus be screened in night, so sumless on my counsel? By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word. My ears have yet not drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague? Neither, fair maiden, if either thee this like. How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb. In the place death, considering who thou art, is any of my fine kinsmen find thee here? With love's light wings did I approach these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do that dares love attempt, therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me. If they do see thee, they will murder thee. Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity. I would not for the world they saw thee here. I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death progued wanting of thy love. By whose direction foundest thou out this place? By love, that first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as the vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I should adventure for such merchandise. Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek, for that which thou hast hear me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false. As lovers produce, they say Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost laugh, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay. So thou wilt too, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayest think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more coy to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardest ere I was ware, my true love passion. Therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love. which a dark night has so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon I vow that tips with silver all these fruit tree tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, least that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love.
Whilst do not swear, although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning, which doth cease to be ere one can say, it lightens. Sweet good night. This bud of love, by summer's ripening breath, may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, a sweet repose and rest. Come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank and give it to thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet!
I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse, sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed night! I am afeard, being a knight, this is all but a dream, too flattering, sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow. By one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes in thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, through the world.
Madam!
I come anon, but if thou meanest not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come, to cease thy strife, and lead me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times to worse to want the light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love toward school with heavy looks.
Hist, Romeo, hist! Or for a falconer's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse, it may not speak aloud. Else would I tear the cave where echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo.
Soul that calls upon my name, how silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo,
My dear,
what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
by the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Just let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget. To have thee still stand here, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no farther than a wanton's bird, but lets it hop a little from his hand, like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves. With a silken thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow, that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thine breast. Would I were sleep and peace so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly friar's close cell, to his help to crave and my dear hap to hell. Tell.
The gray-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light, and fleckled darkness like a drunkard's reels from forth day's path and Titan's fiery wheels. Now ere the sun advance his burning eye, the day to cheer and night's dank dew to dry, I must upfill this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious juice flowers. To earth that nature's is her mother tomb, that what is her burying grave, that is her womb. And from her womb children's divers of kind, we sucking on her natural bosom find. Many for many virtues excellent, none but for some, yet all different. O mickle is the powerful grace that lies in plants, herbs, and stones, and their true qualities. For not so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give. Nor aught so good but strained from that fair use, revolts from true birth, stumbling on abuse. Virtue turns itself vice, being misapplied, and vice sometimes by action dignified. With the infant rind of this weak flower, poison hath residence and medicine power. For this being smelt with that part cheers each part, being tasted stays all senses with the heart. To such opposed kings encamp them still, and man as well as herbs, grace and rude will. And where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker death eats up that plant.
Good morrow, Father.
Benedictite, what early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered hand, so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Care keeps his watch in every old man's eye, and where care lodges, sleep will never lie. But where unbruised youth with unstuffed brain doth couch his limbs, there golden sleep doth reign. Therefore thy earliness doth assure me, thou art uproused with some distemperature. Or if not so, then here I hit right, our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
That last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon, sir, wast thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline, my ghostly father, no. I have forgotten that name, and that name's woe.
That's my good son, but where hast thou been then?
I'll tell thee, ere thou ask me it again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one half wounded me. That's by me wounded. Both are remedies within thine help and holy physic lies. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for lo, my intercession likewise steads my foe.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift, riddling confession fine, but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. And as mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined, save what thou must combine, by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! So soon forsaken, young men's love thine lies, not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. Jesu Maria, what a deal of brine hath lost thy shallow cheeks for Rosaline! How much salt water thrown away in waste, to season love, that of it doth not taste. The sun not yet thy sighs from heaven clears, thy old groans yet ringing in mine ancient ears. Lo, here upon thy cheek doth sit, of an old tear that is not washed off yet. If ever thou wash thyself, these woes thine, thou art these woes, and all woe for Rosaline. And thou art changed, pronounce this sentence then. One may fall when there's no strength in men.
Thou chidest me oft for loving Rosaline,
For doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
and badest me bury love.
Not in a grave to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide me not. Her I love now. Doth grace for grace, and love for love allow. The other did not so.
She knew well, thy love did read by rote that could not spell. But come, young laborer, go with me, in one respect I'll be thy assistant. For this alliance may so happy prove, to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence, I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
God you good morrow, gentlemen. God you gooden, fair gentlewoman. Is it gooden? 'Tis no less, I tell you, for the body hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon. Out upon you, what a man are you?
One, gentlewoman, that God hath made himself to mar.
By my troth, it is well said, for himself to mar, quoth he. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought for him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse.
You say well. Is the worse well, very well spoke. I faithfully, wisely. If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you. Abad, so-ho!
What hast thou found?
No hair, sir, unless a hair, sir, in a Lenten pie that is something stale, and a whore ear it be spent. An old hair whore, and an old hair whore is very good meat in Lent, but a hair that is whore is too much for a score. When its whore's ear it be spent, Romeo, will you come to your father's? Will to dinner thither?
I will follow you.
Farewell, aged lady, farewell, lady. I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman, nurse, that loves to hear himself talk, and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
And he speak anything against me, I'll take him down, and he were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks. And if I cannot, I will find those that shall. Scurvy knave, I am none of his flirt gills, I am none of his scheme mates. And thou must stand by too, and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure. I saw no man use you at his pleasure. If I had, my buckband would quickly have been out. I warrant you, I dare draw as soon as another man. If I see occasion in a great quarrel, and a law on my side. Now, for God, I'm so vexed at every part about me quivers, scurvy knave. Pray you, sir, a word, and as I told you, my young lady bid me inquire you out. What she bid me say, I will keep to myself, but first let me tell you, if you should lead her in a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore, if you should deal trouble with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress, I protest unto thee.
Good heart and I faith, I will tell her as much. Lord, Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mark me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon, and there she shall at Friar Lawrence's cell be shrived and married. Here's for thy pains.
No, truly, sir, no.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir? Well, she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall within this hour my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, to which to the high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell, commend me to thy mistress. Where's the
That you were Romeo, you were throwing pebbles, and my daddy said stay away from Juliet, and I was crying on the stair.
woman that got had
Gang name!
sorry.
Oh, yay, well, the worst is...
Eyes. Some means to come to Shrift this afternoon.
Okay, reading your part, Romeo.
Here's for thy pains.
No. Start over. I forgot I wasn't supposed to take it.
Oh, guys, I'm not back at the page.
What?
There! My name, or if thou not oh my god. Night. I am afraid, feared, being in night, that this is all but a dream. Too flatteringly go repetition of my Romeo.
Didn't press. Oh yeah, I did.
The gray-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light, and fleckled darkness like drunkards' wheels from
God, you good. Hair whore. And an old hair. Sorry. Don't laugh.
Can we all sing it together?
Get no farther than I want to.
Oh my god. Go.
Tis almost morning, I would have thee gone, and yet no.
Oh my Alex. Come on. Get yourself together.
I literally said almost morning, I would have thee gone, and yet no farther than a wanton's bird that lets it off a little from his hand. Like a horse.
Go.
Tis almost morning, I would have thee gone, and yet no farther than a wanton's bird.
Oh
I let it rip your shirt. Shit, we could have kept going. I ripped her shirt. It doesn't matter. I would thy bird. Sweet. Don't put that in there. Can you redo that?
What a day.
That was so bad.